Long before our cities rose, before iron towers or thunderous roads, the earth was young and raw, vibrant with life, yet haunted by shadows. People multiplied across vast valleys and over rolling hills, building clans, trading goods, forging alliances under the sun. Their laughter echoed through green meadows, their feasts lit by dancing fires at night. Yet, beneath this bustle of harvests and marriages, a sinister current ran. The hearts of mankind grew hollow, echoing only with greed and envy. Corruption took root like weeds in an untended field. Blood stained the earth. Mighty men boasted of their strength. Rulers flaunted cruel power, and simple folk twisted truth for a coin's gain. The Creator, who had shaped them from dust, who had breathed his spirit into clay, watched as they turned away, crafting idols from wood and stone, worshipping lust and violence. In all this darkness stood Noah, a solitary lantern glowing steady. Noah was not merely good by human standards, he walked with God. His neighbors chuckled at his quiet ways, his refusal to join their schemes. They mocked him as he prayed at dawn, thanked God over humble meals, guided his children with gentle hands. Yet Noah's soul was like rich soil, ready to receive the seeds of divine purpose. And so, God's gaze swept over the multitudes and rested on this one man, this humble farmer, whose heart beat in rhythm with heaven. In Noah, the Almighty found something rare and precious, faith unspoiled by the world's decay. And that faith would soon be tested beyond any measure he could imagine. Pause, and let this image fill your mind. One family standing clean amid a sea of rot, one man's devotion echoing louder than all the clamor of sin. Time drifted on, like a heavy river, carrying with it new generations who only deepened the world's corruption. Men taught their sons the art of war. Mothers whispered tales of cunning to daughters. Merchants sharpened lies sharper than their blades. The very air seemed heavy with betrayal. Angels looked on, sorrow pressing their radiant faces, and God felt grief. Not regret for creation itself, but the tender ache of a father seeing his children scorn his love, chasing shadows that only led to ruin. Then a decree came from eternity. I will wipe mankind whom I have created from the face of the earth, people and animals, creatures that move along the ground and birds of the sky, for I am grieved that I have made them. Such words carry the weight of thunder and tears together. Yet even in judgment, mercy prepared a refuge. God spoke to Noah, his voice stirring the very marrow of the old man's bones. Build yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms within it. Cover it inside and out with pitch. For I will bring floodwaters upon the earth to destroy all flesh. But I will establish my covenant with you. You and your family shall enter the ark. Imagine Noah's heart racing, a swirl of awe, fear, solemn duty. The task was enormous. He measured planks longer than city streets, hammered nails that echoed like a solemn hymn across the valley. Neighbors laughed, calling him mad. Children threw stones at the rising hull. Yet every day Noah rose before dawn, bent his back under the sun, and worked. Faith his blueprint, obedience his hammer. And friend, if stories of courage like Noah's speak to you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps keep these timeless truths alive, reaching hearts just like yours. Then came the most wondrous sight the earth had ever seen. From forests and caves, deserts and riversides, creatures gathered in silent answer to an invisible call. Lions padded side by side with lambs. Doves fluttered near hawks without fear. Tiny mice scurried in single file, following majestic elephants whose steps made the ground tremble. Noah's family watched, breath caught in awe. Who could orchestrate such harmony but the Maker himself? Noah guided them gently into the ark's dark corridors, each species finding its place, every stall prepared. Food was stacked high, water stored in barrels. His sons carried torches through the wooden halls, listening to the shuffle and murmurs of countless living souls. Outside, clouds gathered with a brooding menace. Lightning forked across the sky, thunder muttered like distant drums. Finally, Noah led his family up the gangplank. They turned once more to gaze upon the familiar hills, the faces of mocking neighbors now gone pale with unease. Then, Scripture tells us, it was God himself who shut the door. Not by human hand was salvation sealed, but by the same hand that had stretched the stars into the velvet night. Darkness deepened. Then, rain. Gentle at first, almost mocking, but soon torrents beat upon the ark like fists. Rivers swelled, bursting banks. Fountains of the deep cracked open, sending geysers skyward. Screams pierced the storm, then were swallowed by rushing waters. For 40 days and nights, earth drowned in judgment. Inside, Noah's family huddled close, hearing outside the world's funeral hymn. Yet within, they rested under God's promise. Months passed in ghostly quiet. No sun, no stars, just endless gray as the ark rocked atop an ocean without horizon. Then, one morning, it stilled. Timbers groaned as the vessel settled on the shoulders of Ararat. A hush fell. Slowly the skies began to clear, streaks of gold slipping between ragged clouds. Noah, cautious and prayerful, opened a window and released a raven. It flew across the barren waters, circling, never returning. Days later, he released a dove. It flapped across the endless gray, found no place to rest, and returned exhausted. 7 days later, he tried again. This time, the dove returned, carrying an olive leaf. Tears brimmed in Noah's eyes. Hope fluttered on tiny wings. At last, the final test. Noah released the dove once more. It did not return. Earth was ready. They stepped out into dazzling sunlight, the ground wet but firm beneath their feet. Flowers poked through fresh mud, streams giggled over stones. Noah fell to his knees, pressing trembling hands to the living earth. His family built an altar, offering sacrifices. Smoke curled heavenward, carrying gratitude that smelled sweeter than fields of lilies. Then, across the sky stretched a bow of brilliant hues. God spoke through this rainbow. Never again will I destroy all living creatures by flood. This sign I set as an everlasting covenant. If moments like this move your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe, so more souls can journey through these stories of grace and promise with us. Far away, in the sands of time, other scribes press tales into clay. The Epic of Gilgamesh whispers of a flood, of a man and a boat, of birds sent forth seeking dry ground. Yet the flavor differs. Their gods were fickle, quarreling among themselves. Their survivor granted immortality as a curious gift. But Noah's story, it flows with a different current. Here stands a righteous creator, grieving over evil, yet longing to redeem, setting not just an ending, but a rainbow promise for all generations. So, what does Noah teach us today? That pride builds towers destined to sink, but humility crafts arks that weather any storm. that even when surrounded by jeers, one person's faith can preserve a future, that after judgment, mercy stretches wide across the sky, and that every time we choose trust over fear, service over self, we hammer another plank into our own ark of salvation. Pause now. Breathe deep. If these stories shine light into hidden places of your heart, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Walk this path of timeless truths with us, so together we may stand strong when the rains come. May you build your life on faith like Noah, and always walk under rainbows that declare, mercy has the final word.